Aloha, I'm Representative Cynthia Thielen. I represent the Kailua, Kaneohe Bay Drive area. And today I'm absolutely delighted to have Cynthia Manley with me. I'm going to read a part of her very lengthy resume, and I'm going to just highlight a few points. Cynthia Manley is the president of the Kailua Chamber of Commerce. Her term runs from 2014 to 2016. She's the director of public relations at Legislator Academy, president-elect of the Kaneohe Business Group, civilian military liaison for the Marine Base at Kaneohe, Windward Business Expo 2012 chair, and the KCOC Communications Chair, along with being Vice President for Communications for Toastmasters on the Windward side. Aloha and welcome, Cynthia. You have an impressive resume, and I've only touched the top of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, my goal today is to encourage the listeners to stay Kailua, shop Kailua, eat in Kailua, and I thought maybe you could share a few of the wonderful places that people could come over the hill, come to Kailua and visit.
Oh, absolutely. I've lived on the Windward side for, I think it's been about 13 years in Kailua, raised my two daughters in Kailua. They attended Legislator Academy at the old Kailua Drive-In, and we eat, shop, play, and live Kailua. And as president of the Chamber of Commerce, that's kind of our motto, is to encourage everyone to shop in Kailua and to do a business in Kailua, and it's a wonderful place to be.
One year I did an article for Midweek, the Windward section, and I went through the different things that you could wake up, take a wonderful walk on the beach, wind your way into Cinnamon's, and have that marvelous breakfast at Cinnamon's.
Red velvet pancakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are, I mean, they're just, I think, world renowned at this point. And then maybe start going on from there. Where would the next stop be for someone that lives in Kailua or has traveled over to Kailua to take a look at what's going on our Windward side?
Well, we have fun new things happening over there. So if you want to leave your car at home, you can kind of take a walk in, you can rent a bicycle, you can visit a couple of the bicycle shops in Kailua. We even have somebody that will drive you or ride their bike, and you can sit in a little basket in the back of a little cart. You can rent a motorized bicycle at Pedigo in Kailua, and you can kind of bike around the area, or you can walk, take the family, have breakfast at Cinnamon's, go visit the little bookstore. How many bookstores do we have anymore? And now we have, we have Bookends in Kailua. Go visit the bookstore, Sand
Let
People
me stop
Hawaii.
you right there for a second, because Bookends in the Times Shopping Center is such a classic and such a treasure, because America has lost many of its little small bookstores. Bookends has retained that wonderful feeling of they can order a book for you if you they don't have it on the shelf. But I see many community members in there browsing through the previously read section and then looking at what's new on the shelves. And the children's section is so delightful.
Well, and they have beaten the online prices for my daughter's school books sometimes too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's very good. So they have saved the day many times for the little books that my kids needed for school.
Well, think if you're in at Bookends, and then maybe you feel like, gee, I'd like a mid-morning coffee.
Morning Brew is right near Bookends, so you could stop in for delightful coffee, and they have all kinds of little muffins and goodies, and they serve a light lunch as well. Well,
the interesting thing about Morning Brew, I remember it from just being sort of a hole-in-the-wall little place, and then they've ended up putting a second story inside, of sort of a loft area for people.
I have been up to the loft area, and it's a great place for meetings. Some of the moms at Legislator and I have gone over there to have our meetings and for the Parent Faculty Association. And we've seen people there on their laptops, their computers working. And so it's a nice place to be. I think it's a very comfortable
Oh, it's great.
environment.
Well, supposing you have a home improvement project and you're on foot, but you maybe need to go and take a look at some of the things that might help you with that. Where would you wander then?
You can wander right over to Hardware Hawaii. And that's, you know, that's across, let's see, I'm trying to think, Zippy's, that area. Then you go in the back, oh gosh, Moki's is over on that side. And it's a cute little, that we've made some new additions in that area. So there are lots of new little places. There's a wine shop. You can create your own wine.
Oh, right, that's true. That's true. In fact, our daughter did that for us one Christmas, and that was delightful.
Right.
They brewed their own wine, and it was really fun for them, and then fun for the recipients. The Hardware Hawaii has always impressed me because of their wonderful staff.
They have amazing customer service.
Oh, they do. I go wandering around, and I think, well, no one's going to know how to do this or how they could solve this little problem for me with this home improvement, and boy, they do. They are
I
just
called
wonderful.
the other day for paint for a project that we're doing for an upcoming Christmas parade on the windward side, and the gentleman who answered the phone was so helpful, and he wanted to make sure that I got the right kind of paint for the kids to be able to do the project. So I appreciated that customer service.
Oh, that's just great. So there you are. You can't pick up the lumber because you're on foot.
Right.
And wandering around and wanting to see what other things maybe have gone back on the Hekili area. And there's something about, you might want to look at a crepe place.
There is Crepes Nakaoi, and they have just expanded. And if you ever want like the perfect crepe with any kind of filling you want, head over there. They are fabulous.
So that could be like, I think they call it a savory or a sweet.
Yes.
In other words, you could get something that would be kind of a lunch filling one, and then if you want the dessert end, you can get those as well.
Right. We had a mixer there, for one of the chamber events, and it was just wonderful. Everybody loved it. The evening was, you know, networking. And we also had a little bit of Hawaiian language, a lesson that evening for the mixer, for the chamber mixer. And then they were able to go over to Crepes Nakaoi and pick up their crepe and eat that.
Oh, that's delightful. Well, there's another section of town that's not part of A and B property, but it's over on the Uluniu area. And they're a wonderful place over there with doctor's offices that help so many of the people in the community. And then there's a wonderful little sewing shop that does alterations.
Yes,
Kailua Sewing Shop.
I have visited them.
And it's wonderful. I mean, it's very small, but she does quality work.
And that's the advantage of the small town, is you need something quickly, or you have a question and you park and you go in and you ask, and they're helpful. And they take the time. That's what I like about Kailua.
Well, and then you pop across the street on Uluniu, and if you feel like we're moving a little too fast, but if you feel like a cup of tea, you've had enough coffee, and then there's the place.
A cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
A cup of tea. And the owners of A Cup of Tea are very involved in that business. They work very hard, and they are there. Darlene is there. Gosh, I think every day. And every event that I've been to, and she takes great pride in making sure that for Christmas, this is the time to visit Cup of Tea at Christmas time. It is gorgeous. She decks it out completely from floor to ceiling with Christmas ornaments, and you can go there and you can take grandkids, you could take kids, you can take family, someone special at Valentine's Day, but for Christmas time, she has it. It's just a gorgeous.
Oh, that's lovely.
Decorations.
Well, I think now we need some exercise.
After all that, I think we do.
And of course, we have the wonderful Y up on the Poly, where there are all sorts of different classes. But I believe there are yoga studios right in Kailua Town, second floor, and I think that's maybe Times Shopping Center again. And then I believe it's over the
Chemo Surf Shop.
Chemo Surf Shop over the surfboards.
Right. Yeah, they have a lot of interesting things they're doing up there. So they teach a lot of different types of classes, and I think if anybody is interested, they can just have an adventure and go upstairs and probably pick up a flyer or a card.
And I did that one time.
Did you?
And I was delighted to learn.
Then you wanted to get into yoga.
Oh, yes. Walked up the stairs and thought, oh, wow, what a beautiful location and studio that is.
Yeah, it is very nice. And the parking is easy. It's right behind.
Parking's simple. That's a blessing in Kailua town.
And that's right across from Kalapawai.
Yes.
The Kalapawai Deli.
Okay, now let's talk about the two Kalapawais.
Yes. You know, talk about customer service. They are fantastic. And we hold a lot of some of our sub meetings, you know, little committee meetings at Kalapawai Deli. They're open in the evening. I've had dinner there, and it's just a beautiful location and great service. And then the market, of course, is the beach side.
Well, the market down by the beach is just it's a mainstay.
That's the what you go exercise on the beach, and then you get your, well, I guess maybe, I don't know, a cup of coffee, yes, in the morning, and then afternoon, maybe a juice or a sandwich at the shop.
Oh, their sandwiches are marvelous.
Sandwiches are excellent.
At Kalapawai. Yes, they definitely are. Well, then I look at that. We also have, is it just one bike shop on Ku'ule?
We have the bike shop on Ku'ule, and then we have Pedigo,
all
which
right.
is a new bike shop, and they're a chamber member, and they are doing electric bikes. So if you don't know anything about that, you have to stop by and say hi to them.
Tell me a little bit about the chamber. I know I'm a member, but
yes,
then the
thank
public,
you.
I'd love to have the public hear about that.
So the Chamber of Commerce, we're a volunteer board.
And this is Kailua
This
Chamber.
is Kailua Chamber of Commerce. We're a volunteer board, and all of our board members work very hard to help promote business in Kailua and help our businesses thrive and give them every opportunity they can to market themselves. We give educational workshops. We have people come in. Our last general membership luncheon, we brought in Jan Kaeo, who owns the Dale Carnegie franchise here in Hawaii, and she gave an amazing workshop to our members on learning to work with different generations, the generation gap, she called it, and how the younger people learn and how they communicate with different age groups. So it was very interesting, very well done.
And then you also put up the Christmas lights.
We're very proud of that.
Oh, yes.
With sponsorship from A&B Kailua and the King family, the Chamber of Commerce was able to ensure that all the lights, if you drive down the main area of Kailua,
it's beautiful.
You'll see all the lights on the trees, and those are all uniformly put up in the triangle area and along up to Kalapawai.
The Chamber also sponsors the July 4th parade?
Yes, we do. And again, we have John Keene and Dr. Chip Abadesa are co-chairs for that.
And how long has that been running?
Oh gosh, I knew you were going to ask me that. Many, many, many years.
Yeah, I know, it's been decades. I mean, I'm thinking 40, I think easily 40 some odd years.
At least.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful parade, and we enjoy it every year, putting it on.
And then there's a wonderful community group that raises money for the July 4th fireworks.
Yes.
And they are so dedicated. They start the day after the fireworks. They start July 5th for the coming July 4th fireworks.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. I mean, there are different ways that they raise the money for that. And it's an island-wide event. People come from all over to watch the parade and then stay. And
it was so well done this last year, just so well done. So we look forward to that again.
Oh, absolutely.
And we do have some exciting things happening that I'd love to share with your viewers. We have partnered with Hawaii Symphony Orchestra. And so if you remember last summer, we had Symphony in the Park. And we're so proud of that partnership. We offered this beautiful concert in the evening at Kailua District Park for free to the community. We plan to do it again in May of the summer.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we're very excited.
It was just the park area was just filled with the people bringing their chairs and maybe their refreshments, their coolers, and sitting there and listening to the symphony and
to
looking at the beautiful sky.
To see the kids in the background dancing and having fun and enjoying the music.
It was such a multi-generational event.
That was.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, the kids could back up and move away and be listening to the music and then be dancing and doing whatever they want to do
We
there.
had the Honolulu Police Department were wonderful there. They helped us out with that concert, and they counted 1,200 people.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
So
Well, that will just grow.
Yeah, that will grow. And the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra is again coming out, and they are a chamber member. They are again coming out for New Year's Eve at Ko'olau Ballrooms.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're going to have the first New Year's Eve concert on the windward side.
That's great. Then think if you want to stay, you've had your afternoon tea, at a cup of tea, and then you want to walk around and just look at the different restaurants and see what might be available. So think of those with the ones that aren't chains, they're just Kailua based.
So we have quite a few, and you can walk on through all the different roads, through Kailua, and it is that little walking town. I'm trying to think of, Bachi Bistro is one of my favorites.
Fantastic. And
They're right there in the back, kind of down the side road, and near the other, near Kapiti. So they're right over in that area.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And Bachi Bistro just has fantastic food. It's Italian, and the chef is just magnificent. Not a chain, just an exquisite restaurant. And usually, people go for lunch weekdays, and then certainly dinner, and it's lovely.
I was there not too long ago, and one of the waiters read the entire specials and menus, and he did it with this flair, and I thought, wow, he's really entertaining, and he did such a good job. And then he came back for the desserts to read off all the desserts, and I was so impressed. I wanted one of everything, but they didn't let me do that.
Well, I love that restaurant. And then there's one called Cactus.
Cactus is
which
fabulous.
Is very unusual. They have, I'm not exactly sure if it's Brazilian food or what it is.
Cactus is Mexican food, and it's right across from Kalapawai.
Right.
And that is run by a local family. Their kids are at Legislator Academy.
Oh, really? How
yes.
nice.
And the Memrings own that restaurant, and they do a wonderful job.
And they went through a very difficult time because there was a sinkhole. Remember the sinkhole that was pretty much out in the street in that area, and all the traffic was diverted. So we made a point of just being sure to go and eat there because, number one, it was noisy for them with the construction, and people just weren't coming in. And I thought, hey, wait a minute, the food is so wonderful.
Right.
We can go and do sign language, but let's go and eat there.
And support our local business.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And so now everything's repaired, everything's fine, and they're back full scale.
Right. And next to Cactus, I have to mention this because they're a wonderful local family, locally run business. It's Mac Made Easy. And they are, as I said, a Kailua family, and their kids are at Legislator Academy as well. and we like to support them as much as we can.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So maybe after dinner, next day you're thinking of what you can do to repair your computer, you could take it there, I guess.
Yes. And then I'm thinking of other places right in the Kailua town that aren't chains. I know people have decided to make, from the leeward side, they've decided to make the big event or the big trip into Kailua town and go over the Pali coming windward, and they're amazed at all the different places that they could find.
Yeah, at the growth and everything we offer on the windward side.
Right, right. We're looking at expanding bikeways in Kailua because we started, oh gracious, maybe 40 years ago with the Lanikai Loop, and I was one of the parents that worked on that with a very wonderful group of people that were very committed to making safer traffic for the children going to Lanikai Elementary School. And the two-way roads in Lanikai just were not acceptable for bikers. They just weren't. And the kids would try to bike to school, the cars would be going in each direction. It just was not safe. So we started a bikeway move and went to city council, and ultimately were successful. But the surprise was it made the traffic one way to be able to leave the 8 to 10 feet for the bikeway. And now that bikeway is probably one of the heaviest, most used in the state for joggers, bikers, and it's wonderful. Moms with strollers, dads with strollers, or kids on the back.
I have walked the Lanikai Loop. Yep, I love it.
It's great. So we're looking at expanding that throughout Kailua to make it a much safer area. There are certain areas that should have been included. Kailua Road, on the Kaneohe side of Kailua Road, when the city repaved this street, it should have paved that section that the city owns and made it so it was safer. Instead, there are tree roots and bumps and all of that kind of thing. But that should be expanded. We have it running into Kainalu, which is pretty well used, and then Kalaheo, the bikeway there, the bike path could be improved. And there's one community member that worked very hard to say, went along with pictures and everything, showing that here you are biking, here's this big tree root, or maybe not the tree, but there's some other encroachment, and we need to get that cleaned up. So bike-friendly Kailua is on the drawing board. My big push is to see Ku'ule get a very narrow median strip, but get one where students from Kailua Elementary can stand safely as they're crossing over to the other side. And that project was underway before it got derailed. It needs to be brought back. And now that the service station has closed, there won't be the concerns about the big gas delivery trucks being able to make the move to get in there.
Well, I love biking around Kailua. My daughters and I bike around Kailua. And to have safer biking areas would be nice.
Absolutely. And that's healthy because you want to eat more.
We want to visit our Kailua restaurants and snack and eat. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, so far I think we've had how many meals? Like about 6 on our excursion. So we need the biking, and that's important.
Right.
And it's also a nice way to get cars off the road.
That's true. That's true. Parking would be easier.
Yeah, because Kailua can be a bit congested.
Yeah. I think we're headed that way.
Yeah. With more biking.
Yeah,
I like
so.
that. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what is going on up in the Hamakua side, and then what new businesses have come in there on the Hamakua side, both on the marsh side or the wetlands side and Safeway side. If you know.
We have a couple of new businesses coming into that area, and there's some changes happening in the neighborhood as well. But and we can talk about that. I did want to ask you really quick before I forget. Can we talk about a cup of tea and the mixer coming up, just so that our listeners know, or viewers know? That's December 17th at 6 p.m. So if they want to visit a cup of tea and see that beautiful Victorian room, they can go to the chamber website at kailuachamber.com and find more information about that.
Oh, give the website again.
www.kailuachamber.com.
Okay, that's easy to find and for people to see what's going on with that. There's a wonderful glass blowing studio up on the Hamakua Road area.
There is, and that's back near the Nash boards, and there's a framing shop over there. There's lots of little shops in that area, and I actually stopped there one day. I needed to get a frame for a photo, and I stopped at the frame shop, and it's locally owned, and then I went over to Nash to see what new stand-up paddle boards were there, to go stand-up paddleboard at Lanikai Beach, and then I did, and there's a new fitness place over there, a CrossFit.
Oh, good.
And and they were out there, the doors were open, and you could hear the music, and they were getting fit. It made me want to jump in and exercise.
Oh, that's good. Well, the glass blowing is very special to me. Our second son, Peter, took glass blowing when he was in school, and then he ended up opening a glass blowing studio. And I treasure his work.
Right.
He now is doing other things, but it's just the things that he blew and the designs, all of that. It's just wonderful, and I love it. So I have not yet visited the studio, but I know our younger son did some pieces for the family for Christmas.
Oh, very nice.
And
very
that was so special to have that.
Yeah, and that's what makes Kailua unique, is all of these little shops that are locally owned, and they, you know, operated, and they hire a lot of the, you know, the kids in the neighborhood.
Well, and that's
need
that's
work.
really important.
Yeah.
Thinking about that, Buzz's, the wonderful restaurant, that's
Buzz's.
such an institution. 2 of our kids worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dave our oldest worked at the Chop Suey restaurant, but that evidently, I mean, that ultimately went out of business. A place that we lost that I'm still so sad about, Peppino's. Mama's Pizza
Right.
there.
Right.
Peppino's was the most fabulous pizza you could ever get. And the spaghetti, all of the things that they made, they were wonderful. And they were in business, I think, for probably almost 40 years.
It was a long time. Yeah.
And one day, one of our family members went by, and here came the text, Peppino's, it's closed on. And we were heartbroken because we wanted a chance to go there, all of us, and eat like 10 nights in a row.
Right, right.
And just say, and beg with Mama to say, don't close. But
Oh,
she
we
did.
have 50, I counted the other day, 50 restaurants in Kailua.
Wow.
And we have Japanese food, Korean food, Mexican food,
Thai food.
Thai food, Moroccan. We actually
Yes,
have
we
Moroccan
do.
food.
Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
fabulous?
Well,
So we
can
have so
ju-
many things there.
I just can say out there to the public again, Kailua is a wonderful place to exercise, to eat, to visit, go to the beach, of course, and just come and enjoy the aloha spirit of Kailua town. And for those of us that live there, let's try to stay there and eat, shop, and enjoy our environment. Thank you for watching our show, and thank you, Cynthia Manley,
Thank you for
for
having
being
me
with
today.
us. Aloha
Appreciate
to you.
it.